Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever noticed that the loudest person in the room is not always the wisest? That the one who shouts the most rarely achieves the most? Success does not come to those who speak without thought. It comes to those who listen, reflect, and act with precision. Many people misunderstand silence. They often equate quietness with weakness, thinking that someone who does not speak much is either timid, uninformed, or lacking influence. Society, with its constant noise and chatter, has conditioned us to believe that the loudest voices carry the most authority. Yet the truth is far different. Silence is not a void, it is not absence. Silence is the soil in which strength, wisdom, and power grow. To truly understand why silence is powerful, we must recognize that words are tools. And like any tool, they must be used with precision and care. When used recklessly, they can damage relationships, squander opportunities, and reveal strategies too soon. But when measured, they become instruments of influence, persuasion, and authority. Silence allows a person to observe the world without distraction. While others are busy reacting, arguing, or proving themselves, the silent individual watches, learns, and processes. They notice patterns that others overlook, the subtle cues in conversations, and the unspoken truths in every situation. This ability to see beyond the obvious is what gives silence its power. It is in those quiet moments that strategies are formulated, insights are gained, and foresight is developed. In essence, the person who embraces silence gains an invisible advantage. They are equipped with knowledge that cannot be taken away, and with patience. They can act decisively when the moment is right. Moreover, silence is a shield against impulsive mistakes. Words once spoken cannot be taken back. Many conflicts, misunderstandings, and lost opportunities are the result of hasty speech. Those who recognize the power of silence understand that restraint is strength. They do not feel the need to fill every pause with words. They do not react to every provocation. Instead, they create space for thought, reflection, and clarity. This disciplined approach is not weakness. It is a demonstration of control, maturity, and understanding. People who master silence are not controlled by their emotions or the pressure of external expectations. They are guided by wisdom and purpose. In addition, silence can communicate more than words ever could. The absence of noise often conveys confidence, authority, and presence. A silent person commands attention, not by volume, but by the aura of thoughtfulness and restraint. People are naturally drawn to those who do not need to speak to assert themselves, because the unspoken message is louder than any speech. They are deliberate, intentional, and in command of their own mind and energy. Silence becomes a statement, a symbol of inner power that resonates with others. The power of silence also lies in its ability to nurture introspection. When one is quiet, the mind is free to explore ideas, examine decisions, and align actions with purpose. Silence creates a space for personal growth, reflection, and understanding. In that stillness, one begins to recognize strengths, weaknesses, and untapped potential. It is often in moments of quiet that life-changing insights occur, decisions are made, and true vision is revealed. To speak without this reflection is to act without direction. To remain silent, however, is to prepare for impactful and meaningful action. Silence is power because it preserves energy, sharpens focus, and cultivates patience. While the world rushes to speak, argue, and compete for attention, the silent individual moves strategically with a sense of calm and certainty. They understand that real influence is not about noise. It is about thoughtfulness, preparation, and timing. They know that words spoken recklessly can diminish impact, while the right words, spoken at the right time, can change the course of a career, a relationship, or a life. To embrace silence is to recognize that one's power does not lie in constant expression, but in the mastery of thought and intention. It is the quiet that shapes decisions, the stillness that strengthens character, and the restraint that demonstrates true authority. Those who understand this truth do not fear silence. They welcome it, for it is in the quiet that their potential is realized and their influence is most profoundly felt. In a world that values action, speed, and constant activity, observation is often underestimated. Many people rush through life, reacting to events without truly seeing them, listening without truly hearing, or engaging without fully understanding. Yet, the truth is that observation is one of the most powerful tools a person can possess. To observe is to perceive beyond the surface, to notice what others miss, and to understand the deeper currents that shape outcomes. Those who cultivate the ability to observe carefully do not merely exist in their surroundings. They gain an edge that others cannot access. Observation is not passive. It is an active process that sharpens the mind and prepares one to act decisively. When you take the time to observe, you see patterns, behaviors, and opportunities that others overlook. Life is full of subtle signs, gestures, tones, pauses, and reactions that reveal intentions, weaknesses, and possibilities. The person who observes notices these details and uses them to navigate situations with wisdom. For instance, in business, while many focus on what competitors are loudly advertising or promoting, the keen observer studies their strategies, their gaps, and their customer behaviors. By understanding what is not said as much as what is said, they identify openings that others cannot see. Observation transforms information into insight, and insight into advantage. Observation also provides clarity in moments of uncertainty. Life often presents us with complex situations where immediate action without understanding can lead to mistakes. The observant individual resists the urge to react hastily. They pause, take in the environment, assess the dynamics, and then make calculated moves. This deliberate approach prevents missteps and increases the likelihood of success. Observation allows a person to anticipate challenges before they arise and to respond effectively when opportunities appear. It gives foresight in situations where others are blind to what is unfolding. Moreover, observation cultivates empathy and influence. When you watch and listen closely, you understand not only the actions of others, but also their motivations, fears, and desires. This understanding allows you to communicate in ways that resonate, to lead with insight, and to connect on a deeper level. People naturally respond to those who understand them. By observing, you gain an advantage not through manipulation, but through informed, thoughtful engagement. You move strategically rather than reactively, creating trust, respect, and alignment that others may fail to achieve. Observation also strengthens learning and growth. Every interaction, experience, or challenge becomes a lesson when approached with attentiveness. By noticing what works and what fails, by analyzing successes and mistakes, you continuously refine your approach. Those who master observation do not repeat the errors of others. They anticipate pitfalls and optimize their path forward. In essence, observation is a bridge between experience and wisdom, turning everyday encounters into valuable intelligence. In high-stakes situations, observation can be the defining factor between success and failure. Leaders, innovators, and high achievers are often quiet in the background, watching, listening, and taking mental notes. They understand that acting without full comprehension is a risk, while acting with insight gained from careful observation positions them ahead of their peers. Observation sharpens judgment, informs strategy, and empowers decisive action when the time comes. To cultivate observation is to embrace patience, attentiveness, and mindfulness. It requires discipline to resist the urge to react impulsively, and courage to stay quiet while absorbing information. The advantage gained through observation is invisible but potent. It allows one to anticipate moves, identify opportunities, and position oneself for success in ways that those who act blindly never experience. By observing attentively, you move through life not as a participant of chance, but as a strategist of purpose, equipped with insight that transforms ordinary circumstances into extraordinary opportunities. In a world filled with constant noise, distractions, and unending chatter, silence is often undervalued. Many people rush to fill every moment with sound, conversation, or activity, believing that business is the measure of productivity and engagement is the measure of intelligence. Yet, true clarity and wisdom are rarely born in noise. They emerge in silence. Silence is not merely the absence of sound. It is a deliberate space where the mind can think, reflect, and connect deeply with understanding. It is in these quiet moments that we gain the clarity to see situations as they truly are, and the wisdom to act in alignment with purpose. Clarity comes from the ability to step back and remove the distractions that cloud judgment. When we are constantly speaking, reacting, or engaging with external stimuli, our thoughts become fragmented, and our decisions are often driven by emotion rather than insight. Silence allows the mind to pause, to slow down, and to process information without interference. In these moments of stillness, we can analyze experiences, assess consequences, and identify what is truly important. The quiet mind sees patterns and connections that the noisy mind misses. By cultivating silence, we create the mental space to prioritize effectively, to distinguish between urgency and importance, and to make decisions with confidence. Wisdom, on the other hand, is cultivated through reflection, observation, and learning from both experiences and the world around us. When we embrace silence, we open ourselves to a deeper understanding of ourselves and others. We begin to recognize our own biases, limitations, and strengths. We gain the ability to listen, not just to words, but to intentions, emotions, and unspoken truths. This kind of listening fosters empathy, insight, and discernment. Wisdom does not come from speaking or acting impulsively. It grows in the quiet contemplation of life's lessons. Silence also allows us to connect with our inner purpose and values. In a society that constantly demands attention and validation, it is easy to lose touch with what truly matters. Taking time to be silent, to reflect on our goals and motivations, ensures that our actions are aligned with our higher objectives rather than influenced by external pressures. This alignment strengthens decision making and cultivates a deeper sense of direction, reducing the confusion and doubt that often accompany reactive behavior. Furthermore, silence helps manage emotional turbulence. When faced with conflict or challenging situations, those who rush to speak or react often make mistakes or say things they later regret. Silence creates a buffer between impulse and action, giving time for thought, perspective, and composure. In this space, clarity emerges, allowing individuals to respond with wisdom, rather than react with emotion. The quiet mind sees solutions where the noisy mind sees problems, and it finds opportunities where others see obstacles. Cultivating silence requires discipline and courage. It means resisting the urge to fill pauses with meaningless words, to over-explain, or to seek constant reassurance from external voices. It requires trust in one's own inner guidance and confidence in the power of reflection. Yet, the rewards are immense. In silence, the mind becomes sharper, decisions become more deliberate, and insight grows deeper. The individual who embraces silence is not passive or weak. Rather, they are focused, strategic, and profoundly empowered. Ultimately, silence is the foundation upon which clarity and wisdom are built. It is the quiet space that allows thought to crystallize, understanding to deepen, and judgment to mature. Those who master the art of silence navigate life with vision, purpose, and discernment. They see opportunities clearly, make decisions confidently, and act with authority. In a world that celebrates noise, the ability to embrace silence is a rare and transformative strength. For it is in the quiet that the mind sharpens, the spirit grows, and true understanding emerges. In life, success is rarely a matter of chance. It is the result of careful planning, deliberate action, and the ability to seize the right moment. Timing and strategy are intertwined forces that determine whether an opportunity becomes a victory or a missed chance. Many people rush through life, acting impulsively or without thought, believing that speed alone will yield results. Yet, those who understand the importance of timing and strategy know that waiting, observing, and preparing are often more powerful than hasty action. Mastery of these principles allows an individual to act with precision, maximize opportunities, and achieve outcomes that others could never imagine. Strategy begins with understanding. To act wisely, one must first see the landscape clearly, assessing the environment, recognizing patterns, and anticipating potential challenges. A well-crafted strategy is not reactive. It is proactive, built upon insight, experience, and foresight. When combined with silence and observation, strategy becomes even more effective. By taking the time to plan and prepare, the individual identifies the steps needed to reach a goal, minimizes risks, and positions themselves for success. Without strategy, effort is scattered, resources are wasted, and opportunities slip away. It is not enough to act quickly, one must act intelligently. Timing, however, is the critical component that transforms strategy into tangible results. A brilliant plan executed at the wrong moment can fail, while a modest plan applied at the perfect moment can create extraordinary outcomes. The world operates in cycles, rhythms, and windows of opportunity. Recognizing these windows requires patience, awareness, and discernment. Those who rush too soon or wait too long often miss the decisive moment. By cultivating silence and observation, an individual strengthens their ability to sense when action is most effective. They understand that success is not only about what they do, but also about when they do it. Furthermore, timing and strategy are reinforced by discipline and restraint. It takes courage to wait, especially when pressure mounts and others are rushing into action. Yet, the disciplined individual knows that impulsive moves can undermine even the best plans. By exercising restraint and maintaining focus, they preserve their energy, sharpen their clarity, and enhance the effectiveness of their actions. The combination of patience and preparation ensures that when the moment arrives, they are ready to act decisively and confidently. Strategic timing also amplifies influence and impact. Leaders, entrepreneurs, and visionaries who understand this principle are able to create outcomes that seem effortless to outsiders, but are actually the result of meticulous planning and perfect execution. They do not rely solely on chance. They engineer circumstances to align with their goals. By harmonizing strategy with timing, they maximize opportunities, minimize errors, and achieve sustainable success. In addition, the strengthening of timing and strategy fosters adaptability. Life is unpredictable, and circumstances can change rapidly. Those who have honed their ability to observe, reflect, and plan are better equipped to adjust their strategies when needed. They are not rigid or reactionary. Instead, they respond intelligently to shifts in their environment, seizing advantages that others overlook. This flexibility, combined with patience and precision, creates a powerful formula for success. Ultimately, understanding the interplay of timing and strategy allows an individual to act with purpose, confidence, and authority. It transforms effort into results, ideas into reality, and vision into achievement. Success is rarely accidental. It is the product of preparation, discernment, and the ability to move when the moment is right. Those who master timing and strategy position themselves above competition, navigate challenges with grace, and convert opportunities into lasting accomplishments. In a world filled with promises, speeches, and constant declarations, the true measure of a person's character and influence is not found in what they say, but in what they do. Words can inspire, motivate, and persuade, but without action, they remain empty. Many people mistake eloquence for capability, believing that persuasive words alone can create change. Yet, history and experience repeatedly show that real impact is made by those who act decisively, consistently, and with purpose. Actions carry weight because they demonstrate commitment, reveal priorities, and build trust in a way that words never can. The power of action lies in its authenticity. Anyone can speak about their intentions, dreams, or plans, but only action proves their seriousness. When someone follows through, they show the world that they value results over appearances. Actions validate words and transform ideas into reality. Without action, even the most compelling statements are meaningless. They may inspire temporarily, but they do not leave a lasting mark. True leaders and achievers understand this principle and prioritize doing over talking, knowing that sustained effort and tangible results earn respect, influence, and credibility. Actions also communicate what words cannot. Body language, behavior, and consistent effort convey character, integrity, and dedication far more effectively than speech. People observe patterns over time, noting how individuals respond to challenges, treat others, and fulfill their responsibilities. These observations create impressions that last, building reputations that either open doors or close them. Someone may claim to be trustworthy, disciplined, or competent, but it is their actions that reveal the truth. Consistent, positive action becomes a language in itself, one that transcends cultural, social, and linguistic barriers. Furthermore, actions have a compounding effect that words cannot match. Each small, intentional step taken toward a goal builds momentum, fosters discipline, and creates measurable progress. Words may set a vision, but actions actualize it. Success, growth, and transformation occur not through talking about change, but through practicing it daily. The person who acts steadily, even in silence, accumulates results that speak volumes, often achieving more than those who constantly boast of plans without execution. Actions also inspire others in a way that words rarely can. People are motivated by example. Seeing someone persevere, overcome obstacles, or achieve goals creates belief and admiration that cannot be generated by speech alone. Leadership, influence, and legacy are all built through action. For people follow those who demonstrate capability, not those who merely claim it. When a person acts, they create ripples that impact others, shaping culture, behavior, and outcomes far beyond their immediate circle. Importantly, actions teach lessons that words cannot. Mistakes, adjustments, and successes all provide insights that mere discussion cannot replicate. By taking action, one gains experience, resilience, and understanding, developing wisdom that informs future decisions. Words can explain theory, but only action produces practical knowledge. Those who rely solely on words stagnate, while those who act learn, grow, and adapt. Ultimately, understanding that actions speak louder than words shifts focus from empty promises to meaningful execution. It emphasizes accountability, consistency, and integrity. By prioritizing deeds over declarations, a person demonstrates authenticity, builds trust, and achieves results that inspire and endure. In the end, it is through action, not rhetoric, that influence is established, goals are realized, and legacy is created. In life, many people are quick to speak about their dreams, ambitions, and intentions, yet few follow through with the necessary actions to make them a reality. Words are easy, they require little effort, and they can be delivered without risk or accountability. Actions, however, require commitment, courage, and perseverance. They demand that one face challenges, overcome obstacles, and remain consistent even when circumstances are difficult. This is why actions always speak louder than words. They reveal the true measure of character, intention, and capability. Words can inspire temporarily, but action produces tangible results. Anyone can talk about achieving success, leading a team, or making a difference, but only those who act consistently transform those words into reality. Words without action are like seeds planted in barren soil. They may seem promising, but they never grow. Action, on the other hand, cultivates growth, builds momentum, and creates outcomes that cannot be ignored. Those who prioritize action demonstrate authenticity and integrity, showing others that they mean what they say. Action also communicates commitment more effectively than any declaration. When someone follows through on a promise, completes a task diligently, or persists in the face of difficulty, they reveal their dedication and reliability. People notice behavior patterns over time. These patterns create lasting impressions that words alone cannot achieve. Trust, respect, and influence are earned through consistent action, not repeated assurances. Leaders and successful individuals understand this principle, focusing their energy on doing rather than merely talking. Furthermore, actions carry weight because they create visible evidence of capability. Words may outline intentions or plans, but actions demonstrate ability and execution. A person may speak confidently about their skills or vision, but it is their actions that confirm whether they can deliver. Consistent, purposeful action builds credibility, inspires confidence, and establishes authority. Those who act decisively are seen as reliable and competent, while those who rely solely on words risk being perceived as insincere or untrustworthy. Action also has a compounding effect that words cannot replicate. Every step taken toward a goal, no matter how small, accumulates over time to produce significant results. Effort, perseverance, and discipline manifest through repeated action, gradually creating momentum that propels individuals forward. Words can express intent, but only action produces progress, solves problems, and creates lasting change. Those who act steadily, even quietly, often surpass those who talk endlessly without execution. Moreover, action influences others in ways words rarely can. People are inspired by example, not rhetoric. When someone works diligently, overcomes challenges, or achieves remarkable results, they motivate others to follow suit. Leadership is demonstrated through deeds, not speeches. Those who act consistently inspire confidence and encourage others to strive for excellence. By living out their values through action, individuals create impact that words alone cannot generate. Actions also teach lessons that words cannot convey. Mistakes, successes, and adjustments provide first-hand experience, fostering growth and wisdom. Talking about plans or strategies does not provide the depth of learning that occurs through active engagement. Action creates understanding, resilience, and insight that prepare an individual for future challenges. Words can explain theory, but only action creates practical knowledge and meaningful results. Ultimately, prioritizing action over words is a principle that distinguishes the truly successful from the merely aspirational. Those who understand this truth focus on doing rather than just speaking, achieving rather than merely promising, and leading by example rather than persuasion alone. Actions validate intentions, demonstrate integrity, and produce outcomes that endure.